Good afternoon. Greetings. You made it. Welcome to the 2026 Spring Graduation Commencement Ceremony for Silicon Valley's very own San Jose State University College of Engineering. And if you aren't part of the College of Engineering, welcome anyway. Congratulations. You made it. You finally made it to the finish line. Those 4 years or 5 years or more have finally come to an end at the finish line at this graduation ceremony. Remember when you first started in school, you may have been searching for answers, learning about the world that you live in and occupy, as well as continually learning day by day, every day, in your courses, in your classrooms, out of your textbooks. 4 years later, or 5 years, you've made it to the finish line. I was in the same exact shoes as you were more than 10 years ago when I first entered San Jose State University as a freshman student. I thought that I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I thought that I had all the answers when I graduated from high school. Of course, I took the AP classes, you took the AP classes, you took the honors courses, or you took the regular track if you decided to take the normal track of courses, which is absolutely fine because there's different strokes for different folks. You see, I was in a way blessed from the very start of my life because none of us get to choose what type of family, what type of socioeconomic status or upbringing that we enter the world into. But I was blessed with being different because I was born to refugee parents that became naturalized American citizens. And I was blessed with the gift of a younger brother that had a mild disability, a mild cognitive disability. And for most of my life, I felt as if I had something to prove. And your story might be different. All of our stories are different. But I know that San Jose State University is a college, is a school, not of students that come from upper middle class or even the highest rungs of society. I know that we're all Spartans. We are a bunch of ragtag, rowdy, rough around the edges. We don't come from prestige and we don't come from privilege. So, at a young age, after high school, I decided to change my mindset about how I viewed the world, about how I viewed my own family, about how I viewed work, the nature of work. And I learned to embrace the pain, and some of you may not like this word, but sometimes maybe the suffering that could be attached to it. But in a way, one of my good friends and now would be perhaps a mentor figure was one that enlightened me about how pain and hurt and hard work shapes us by chiseling into us and out of us character. In many ways, all of those homework assignments, all those papers that you had to write, those presentations, going to work after school or before school, to be able to pay your way through college, through work study, through applying for scholarships, those research projects, it was all preparation for the real world. One of my favorite songs has a quote about the real world by a favorite musician and favorite artist of mine. Bless his heart. And the quote in the song goes like this: "There's no such thing as the real world, just a lie you have to rise above." And what that meant to me was the world that you grow up in and that I grow up in and that we live in is in fact a creation of our own psyche, of our own imagination, and of our own realizations of our own limitations, or none of such. And when I began on this project, this journey, and I don't mean to make this about myself, but I know that perhaps some of you out there may be looking forward to having conversations about the work that I'm doing, whether it's in the software department or the electronics department, perhaps even in the political arena. Some of my friends may have thought I was crazy or have gone completely insane when the situation that befell upon me occurred. And indeed, I almost did lose my mind. But I began to embrace the barriers, the constraints. I began to embrace the challenges that lay and lied ahead of me. I want to say that although life is plenty about the work that you do, especially if you learn to fall in love with the work that you do, life is not all about work, and it is not all about money. Because when I was in my teens and early 20s, I saw vividly how money and finances changed people. It changed the people in my family. It changed the decisions that my parents made. It changed the type of care that my mother and my younger brother could afford. Money also influenced our politics in the United States and elsewhere in the world because of globalism. The influence of money on lobbyists and politicians cozying up to big business, really big business, tycoons, and how unfair it was, how much influence they had on each other, much at the detriment of our society and the people in the lowest rungs of society. I decided if I were to have any influence on my younger brother or my parents or even the younger generation around me, I wanted to be a force for positive change rather than continuing the status quo. I'm very honored to speak to you today as a San Jose State University alum. You see, I took San Jose State University for granted when I was a student. As I was saying at the beginning of this speech, we're not from the most privileged rungs of society or the most prestigious. We're a ragtag, rough around the edges. We're immigrants. We're students with single parent family households or single mother households. And I just want to be, a beacon of hope for you and for our generation. Whether you want to write a book, I wrote a book. Whether you want to write a musical album, I wrote a musical album. It's not about me. I'm just kidding. Whether you want to start your own small business in the garage at home so that you can spend more time with your family. God bless my mother's heart and soul. And whether or not you succeed depends on your grit. And that's one of the traits that I want to talk about today is I want you to consider not in your test scores, not in your grades, not in how much money you make, but I want you to consider how much you can take and how much you can handle, how much you can juggle throughout life because of the grit that you've acquired as a student at this fine university. Whether you've had to pull all-nighters or balance a full-time or part-time job while being a full-time student, miraculously, I want to encourage you that all of those skills that you've learned and the moments in high school in which your teacher said, "You'll never use this again," that's not true. Today, in the world of artificial intelligence, you may be using less energy and faculties of your intelligence, but I assure you, if you are pushing yourself, you will be using everything that you have ever learned from the workplace, from your university, at home, from your parents, from your friends and siblings. And I want to encourage you, on a humorous note, if you haven't had your first internship by now, don't worry, you probably will not find one. Jokes aside, and on that humorous note, myself, I've worked for several no-name internships at companies that had no following and no recognition for the work that they've done. But some of the most important skills I've learned were during the interviews, during those stages of my life, during working with coworkers, the soft skills that I learned through interacting with other students and coworkers, as well as, of course, doing the work and just showing up. I know that these times may be strange and concerning for some students, and it may even be a little bit scary because of how quickly artificial intelligence and the internet and the information age and self-driving autonomous cars, how scary that may be from your upbringing. I know it's vastly different from my own upbringing, but know that these industries are continually working to make your life and my life, all of our lives, much easier. I want to reemphasize, the world is going to try to change you and redirect you off course from what your goals and what your dreams are. Don't let that happen. I want you to rediscover yourself, your own dreams, and of course, to continue to study those that have succeeded and went before you, those that have trailblazed and left clues and hints for you on how to conduct your own work and your own mission in life. And of course, I want you to continue to pursue your own dreams, because the more that we all pursue our dreams, and the more that of those that come true, the world will surely be paradise on earth. And without further ado, I want to congratulate you, San Jose State Spartans, on the work being so well done. Incredibly honored to be here with you. I want to congratulate you for a job well done, and for graduating, for stepping across this stage and making your family proud, making your parents proud, your friends and your siblings. And I could not be happier to see yet another class of San Jose State students making it through the finish line. And without further ado, thank you for allowing me to speak today before you. Keep following those passions, keep following those dreams, and congratulations, class of 2026. You did it.